Hi everyone, welcome to Making Lemonade, the show about the lives of musicians in Singapore, making the most of performances that have...
Hey, you gotta listen to what I say, no?
Hi everyone, welcome to Making Lemonade, the show about...
No, please speak up.
Hi everyone, welcome to Making Lemonade, the show about musicians in Singapore.
You never eat lunch, why no energy one?
Make your own podcast, try it for free. The step-by-step guide how to make a podcast.
You wait until today, then go and find out.
How to start a successful podcast for under $100. What have I been doing? This is Making Lemonade. Welcome to Making Lemonade, the show about the lives of musicians in Singapore and performances that have changed their lives or just plain sour. My name is Lemon Wayne and I'm your host. And then now what?
Hi, my name is Mitch and I don't know anything about music. Yes, but we're gonna be here, right, to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Because I also don't know what your podcast is
Why
about.
are we doing this?
You tell me, lah. Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this?
What is your name again?
Oh, I'm Lemon Wayne.
Lemon Wayne.
Yeah.
Why?
So like when I was in Polytechnic, there was this lecturer who can't pronounce my name. My friend's name. His name is Lim something lah. So he called him Lime instead. And then one day,
How
Lime,
old were you?
I was 16 or 17.
Oh, so like Sec 4 lah.
Yeah, Poly,
Okay,
first
I
year.
don't remember. Okay.
Then he asked Lime a question one day, and Lime couldn't really answer. So I leaned over and I was like, Lime, I whispered the answer to him.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, "Oh, you answer. Your name is Lemon, is it?" And then after that, after that, I think he just kept calling me Lemon for the rest of the lesson. And then after that, I released. If you can go on Spotify, you can find 2 songs released by the awesome Lemon, Golden Showers and Poo Poo.
Oh my god.
Kind of that's where it started. Then after that, I just took it and then kind of ran with the Lemon.
Do you also write those songs when you were 16 years old?
I wrote no. It's okay. So the first song, Golden Showers, right? I wrote it when I was like 16 or 17. I don't know if this is too explicit, but like what happened was that one of my friends was at the Dover toilet, the public toilet, because SP is next to Dover MRT. So we will go to Dover MRT to go home. And then so one day he was at the urinal peeing, and then
Oh my god. Okay.
and then so there was a guy next to him that was peeing like extremely violently, and his whole leg got wet. So he ran to the cubicle. He was like, "Hey, the guy pee on me." Then my other friend was laughing at him and he said, "Hey, you gonna golden shower."
Oh my god.
So after that, I was inspired by that story, and then I wrote a song, and I paired it with one of my assignments.
Oh.
I actually submitted it for my assignment. I got A.
Listen, music is sound, right? The
Yes, it
sound
is.
of pee also can make music.
You can go and listen to the Golden Showers. I usually use it as like an icebreaker because it's such a stupid song. People just like kind of, yeah.
So that's your way of selling yourself.
Yeah, in some sense, the first impression of me is this stupid song. If you hear, you'll get what I mean. It's really...
I see.
Dumb.
This lemonade, I don't want to drink already lah. Like that, a bit teruk like that. So actually, you don't really like lemons one lah. It's just this wonderful story about you in school.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Led Zeppelin or like Daft Punk. They had the same kind of problem, which like...
Really?
Some critic wrote in the paper, it's like, oh, they are like just Daft Punk. And then they became their name.
Oh. Oh, so interesting. I didn't know that. Hey, education. So, my question is, why you want to do podcast? Who gave you permission?
Oh, I asked you, right?
You asked me. I give you permission.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm just I just designed the set. If ugly, don't complain. But you tell me why.
I think
what got you going?
This podcast started. Actually, it was like I was doing this series of videos or content of photos with my last 39 days of school. And some of the events I went to were like my friend's senior recital. So I thought, okay, because I make a piece of content with every photo.
Yeah.
So I thought one day I decided, okay, I should let's say interview the person that I watched, because I am quite curious also to know like she's a piano player called Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So like I was curious, like what's the process of coming up and learning the piece, and a lot of people don't really know the lives of like musicians. So I thought it was a good idea to kind of showcase something like that, especially because also in this way it helps the musicians to connect with the public as well.
Oh, I see. And I mean, in Singapore, you don't have a lot of that, lah, is it?
I think there's some of it, but not in a way that's very personal or like kind of is
Lemon Wing gets personal.
yeah. So yeah, when I first thought of the show, I was thinking like, okay, so it's gonna be quite casual and it's gonna be like us just talking, and then we
Clearly.
and it'll just be like it'll be different from like interviews that you do. Like I just trying to promote your stuff. We're trying to really get into the life of what being a musician is like, and because I'm also a musician,
Yeah.
so I'm asking the questions of that sometimes I don't know, but sometimes also like I will be curious to know based on some information I have of you from myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I would ask what, like, you would probably ask your guests, right? Like, what is your story as a musician?
What's my story? Okay, so like I kind of got into music kind of late. I was in secondary school. It's not that late, but I joined the band. That's my first real kind of experience with music, and I really enjoyed it. So after that, but before that, I was also very into production, because when I was in secondary school, everyone in my school got a MacBook, and first time I experienced not experienced, but like I got my hands on GarageBand, and actually I did for 2 years. I did a podcast also called Dcast. Dcast was a podcast that kind of told you like what homework you had, who got punished during morning assembly, what to look out for, maybe what the canteen is selling this today. Actually, kind of like what I'm doing today. And yeah, it got
This is a truly Singaporean podcast, lah, huh? Let's just say.
yeah. And actually the word got to also some of my teachers, and they were like, oh, you're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
They didn't really try to stop me, but they also didn't really encourage me either. They're like, oh, you have a podcast. And it's so funny because when I used to do it, I didn't have money to pay for iLife. Last time you had to have iLife to post stuff onto iTunes.
Yeah.
But what I did was I kept recycling the same email over and over. So you get a 30-day free trial, 30-day free trial, 30-day free trial, and you just like keep recycling it.
You're very auntie leh.
No, you know why? Because so when you're a kid, you don't have.
By the way, aunties will survive the apocalypse.
Yes.
This is a good thing, huh? I just want you to know first.
Like when you're a kid, you don't have a credit card.
Yeah.
Then you ask your parents, Dad, can I do a podcast? What's a podcast? And like, at that time, just go and study your math or something, whatever. Like, I used to stay back every day I stay back like a few hours every day to do this podcast.
Oh.
Used to. And I did it with my friend. We had like co-anchors.
Passion project.
Yeah, we had like a passion project. Okay, so then after that, I've been doing a lot of like behind the scenes stuff. I was like music producer, audio engineer, and like composer. And I also played in some bands, but I never really wanted to practice. So I just write the music and I say, hey, nah.
Oh, I see. Okay, fill in the blanks. Musicians are blank.
Cool. Sorry, we need to fix this camera. Enjoy this intermission in this time.
Come. Ready? Your hand, massage your jaw, go. You can make sounds. Clean the microphone, man. Okay, can.
The camera will die by itself.
Actually, you should put that in. Yeah, okay, you should put that in. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, don't put that in yet. Okay, yes, sorry. So next question. Musicians do blank for the world.
Do musicians...
Let me rephrase. That's not a very good
so
question.
Hard to fit the word inside. I'll just say like musicians. I think musicians make the world happier in like indirect ways. So like the frontline workers, they are there like treating people, but they listen to music to get them up.
Yeah.
So that they when they go to work, they are not like really like very. It helps them get through the day, I think. Yeah.
I see. So, if like as an audience of your podcast, right? Like, what kind of musicians will you do? Actually, I want to know, do you have a favorite genre of music?
Do I have a favorite genre?
Yeah.
Personally, I like jazz and some. I can't say I like. Yeah, mainly jazz. I think jazz is my favorite genre, but I'm actually quite equal because I see quite a lot of merits in a lot of different genres. It's just that like something like jazz isn't too like stiff like classical, but also has a lot of, because I'm like a music theory nerd also so it has a lot of stuff in it for me to listen to. So people like Jacob Collier or some people like that.
Okay, okay, I'm going to listen. I don't know anything about music. I see. Okay. And so, like, when you invite musical guests on your show, right? Like, what kind of musicians would they be? Or, like, who are the people in Singapore, like musicians in Singapore you want to talk to?
Yeah, so when I thought about who to look for, I just kind of want to find basically everybody that makes music in Singapore and shed a light, because I always think that everybody's story is interesting in some way. And even if you're a first-time music producer, composer, and even if it's your first time or your 50th time, everyone has a story, and making art is always some kind of challenge, So there's something that people go through, and then we can. So that's the reason why I thought about like making the podcast more personal, and not just about like, oh, we have this show and then is what, and then. So yeah, then just touch a little bit on like what's the inspiration, get a little bit deeper into like why you're doing it, who you are actually is kind of like the theme of trying to find out who are the musicians in Singapore.
Oh, I see. So on my handphone here, right, it says that the podcast would like to talk to, like, when you talk to your guests, you want to ask them about one, like a specific performance that they made, right?
Yeah.
That was very, like, I guess challenging. Is that the word? Like, why do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because every project that people or like a musician makes, as I said before, it's like it's a lot of them putting themselves into it. And it doesn't have to be like just one thing that they have done, but we always want to get into what they're doing and why they're doing it. Did I say this already?
I mean, sure. We can repeat our points. We're allowed.
Yeah. So also because if people are listening to this podcast, then they'll know the process behind the art. And then they might feel more connected to the artist, and then after they'll go and listen. And the other thing is that now with everything being digitalized, since the pandemic, I think a lot of things we can just from this video just hop on to the next video, and you're there and you're watching their performance.
I see. So as a musician yourself, what is that one performance you have done in your life that you're like, wow, that was so hard?
One performance,
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, that's quite
changed your life. You had to make lemonade out of lemons.
I think there's quite a few points, because every time when you face a big challenge, then you overcome it, you grow, and then you feel like, wow, I really did something. I think one big thing I did for like my audio journey was when I was the front of house engineer for my DMAT, which is like the poly course I went to show.
Yeah.
It was like it was quite a big show and running the front of house is like, I don't know, it's something like maybe like playing the piano. Hey, come here. Hey, spoil again. Okay. Enjoy this intermission.
Dribble your lips, go. trill your lips. Can I?
Should I just continue?
Just continue. Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh,
We
front
had
of
a
house.
blip. Sorry, guys.
Need more
Home
than
studio is like that
need more
one.
than $100. Okay, so yeah, when I was the front of house engineer,
Yep.
it's like you're basically running the show, the audio part of the show. And it's all these bands coming on. So there's all sorts of components of the show, like the stage manager, then like they're calling the people on. Then you must make sure to mute everyone before they come on. If not, they're like, the lapel mics and everything.
Yeah.
And then, so then after that, if something goes wrong, you also have to besides making the music sound good, like riding the faders and all these kind of things, like you have to be on the fly. When something breaks down, you have to go and fix it. Call the crew. Go and do this. Go and do this. The Cat 5. So like stuff like that. That was like quite because I didn't do a big show like that. And when after the show, when people were like, oh, that sounded really good. Like as a student, when after you do something like that, and then they're like, oh, that's kind of professional quality.
Okay.
You're good enough. Then they stamp for you. I've had a few of these experiences, and then other things are like when you. So I have this behavior of like keep on trying new things. So after
That's not a bad thing. Why you saying it like a bad thing like that?
But I guess it's not lah. So then after that so after I did all this producing and all this stuff, I went to army. Then I was in the band. I played the clarinet in the band, and then there also, like I slowly practice until I became the concert master, and then because my playing was terrible, like what's wrong with my camera? No, I use this one.
Okay.
My playing was terrible, but like because it's your job, like you just have to keep practicing.
Yeah.
So then after that, I became the concert master. So you play like all the kind of important parts in the clarinet section. And then after that, okay, too many things. It's probably too many things. I joined the band, then I learned how to play the bass. I used to play guitar, but like my band didn't have a bassist.
That's when your journey started, right? With all the other, I love that. So I saw like the lineup that you had, right? Like there's some really really cool musicians and their work, right, and their performances. So basically, this is a little bit of a love letter to like young musicians out there who are who want to start their own thing, who want to try new things like you. Is that what you would like to say?
Like this podcast?
Yeah.
Should I turn that on? Wow, cannot take it. Break again. One more intermission.
Oh yeah, we do tongue twisters.
Tongue twisters. Shit. Red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. The camera's long. Okay. That's a bit freaky, but
Okay, sorry. What was the question?
Yeah. Oh no, so I was saying like this podcast would be essentially a little bit like a love letter to musicians like who are trying to start out their own thing, because there's some really ballsy performances that we're going to feature, right, from your guests.
Yeah, there was a guy that's smashing the violin for the as a musical piece.
That's brilliant.
There's also a TikTok star. There is also what was the first day? Oh, there was okay, no, not first day. Today is the first day.
I mean, wink, wink. Yeah.
And also various other. We also have legendary Malay singer-songwriter come in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's quite a diverse spread of people, and I think a lot of people don't get to see that. Firstly, the people, especially if you're behind the scenes, like music producers, all these kind of things, and also they don't get to see like what they do in a sense, because you only get the product. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to go now, and Lemonway is going to tell you where you can find him or what to do next if you want to be a regular audience of this podcast.
you can subscribe to Lemon Wayne YouTube channel. I will wait, but I don't know if
Got spacing.
yes, there's a space, LEMON space WAYNE. You can follow me on Instagram as well at lemon_Wayne_, and hopefully the name isn't taken, but I'm gonna get the Making Lemonade podcast IG. It'll be here somewhere, after we figure out the IG.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait.